I'm Nadir. I'm a grad student here in physics at UC Berkeley. So, you asked me the question, what is science? And a lot of times when we're sitting in really dry, technical, boring colloquia, we don't feel like, well, we wonder, is this science? Is this really what science is? If this is what it is, I don't think I want to do it. But I was teaching this cosmology course down at Stanford. It was a great course. Kids from all over the country, all over the world, really. And so I was trying to think up problems that these kids could do relating to astronomy and cosmology that, didn't require, any, fancy math, any, complicated instrumentation or anything like that. And so in the middle of teaching this course, I was walking home, and it was early evening, and I noticed in the west a crescent moon and star, the kind you see on flags of Islamic countries, And I realized, and the star of course was Venus, right? It's the evening star, the brightest one out there. And I realized that the star and crescent isn't a coincidence, right? Because Venus, because it's it's going around the sun and it's closer into the sun than us. If you see it in the sky, it's going to be near the sun. You're never going to see it in the opposite part of the sky from the sun. And if Venus is next to the moon, right, then that means that the moon is pretty close to the sun. But if the moon is close to the sun, then we can't see that much of it because most of it is facing the sun. And so what we see is mostly the dark part, and so we see a crescent. And so actually, if you see Venus and the moon together, you're going to see a crescent moon. And so it's no coincidence that these flags feature a crescent moon and star, because there's no other kind of moon that you'd ever see next to Venus. So this kind of thinking of just analyzing a situation, I think that's the sort of essence of scientific thought. Famous physicist Richard Feynman, or maybe was it Einstein? I'll have to check. But one of them said that science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. That simple problem of figuring out, the crescent moon and star is a great example of that, because it doesn't require, any specialized knowledge, any fancy mathematics, any sophisticated instruments. It just requires thinking about something maybe a little harder and a little more detail than you would think about most things in your everyday life. But it's really no different in quality than the thinking that you might do. And then this became a homework problem for these high school kids, which I think they liked. I hope they did. That problem kind of encapsulated to me what I really love about science, what I feel science fundamentally is, and what the joys are of communicating it to younger people.